Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to sew the Koli top by Telabeja. You can find the link to the pattern in the description of this video. The first step is to cut out all lining and main fabric pattern pieces and mark the notches. You can make this pattern using either woven or stretch fabric. For the woven version, if you don't have a matching band for the lacing, make a strap out of your main fabric by sewing a strip of fabric in half. Turn it inside out using a loop turner or safety pin. Cut off 6 pieces from your band, each 5 cm long. Sew the center front piece to the side front piece, just like I already did for the lining. If you are making the Koli top from stretchy fabric, don't forget to apply a stretch stitch, such as a zigzag stitch or similar instead of a straight stitch. Iron and top stitch the seam towards the middle. Next, sew the side front pieces to the back pieces. As you can see, I did the same for the lining already. Iron and top stitch the seam towards the front. This is what it should look like from the wrong side. The next step is to sew the cup pieces together, just as I already did for the lining pieces. Iron and top stitch the seam towards the middle. Sew the cups to the center front and side front pieces by aligning the middle seams, like so. Iron and top stitch the seam towards the bottom. This is what it should look like now. For making view Y, sew the ruffle pieces together at the middle seam, wrong sides together first. Now trim the seam allowance to the bare minimum. Put the ruffle pieces right sides together and then sew again to enclose the trimmed seam allowance within. Somehow at this point my camera stopped filming, but you just have to sew down that seam. Finish the outer edge of the ruffle with a zigzag stitch or overlock. Then fold the finished edge inwards and top stitch. You can also skip the first of these 2 steps and sew a rolled hem with your machine. Here you can see the finished French seam and the finished edge of the ruffle. Now we can pin the ruffle to the neckline of the main fabric with the ruffle's wrong side facing the right side of the bodice. Sew the ruffle to the bodice with a basting stitch. Don't worry if the ruffle turns out to be a bit too long, just cut off the excess. Pin the bodice lining to the main fabric at the neckline right sides together. Sew the lining to the bodice at the neckline. Gentle reminder to use a stretch stitch if you're working with knit fabric. Understitch the lining at the neckline to the seam allowance. This is what it should look like afterwards. Pin the main fabric and lining together at the side seams. Sew them together with a straight or stretchy stitch. For the version with the ruffle, be careful not to sew the ruffle too. It should look like this. Now we can turn the straps inside out to reveal the right side. For view Y, iron and top stitch the ruffle to the bodice from the right side. For the woven version, pin the back pieces closed, including the loops at the top, 1.5 cm from the bottom of the back seam, and in between those two. So with 1 cm seam allowance, I will explain how to proceed for the knit version in a moment. If you turn the loops to the right side, it will look like this. For the knit version, pin and sew the back pieces together at the back seam like so. For securing the straps, rip the seam open in the back piece at the top and insert the strap into the opening. For the woven view, the opening should be located near the lacing. For making the top with stretch fabric, the strap opening should be located at the middle of the back piece. Try on the top and adjust the length of the strap to your liking before sewing the straps to the back with a top stitch. This is what it looks like with the sewn-in straps. To finish the top, fold and iron the bottom edges inwards and top stitch. For sewing with knit fabric, fold both lining and main fabric at the bottom inwards and top stitch with a twin needle or other stretch stitch. And this is the finished look for the woven Koli top. And the knit top with the stretch stitch finish. Now we can insert the strap into the back to finalize the lacing. And it's done! Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Leave a comment, a like and subscribe for more sewing content. For more inspiration and Koli Top dress hacks, you can also check out my Instagram at Telabeja or the hashtag Koli Top. See you in the next tutorial. Bye!